Sir GeerM.Ishaq sir is serving as Director, Career Planning, University of Kashmir, and Professor, Faculty in Pharmacology at Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Kashmir, over 2 decades. At present, he holds the additional charge of Director, Center for Career Planning. Professor Geer has earlier served as Coordinator UCG HRD of University of Kashmir over a period of 5 years. Professor Geer has published more than 51 research papers, presented 42 papers in various national and international conferences. He and his research team has won 5 Best Paper Awards in various conferences and journals. He has delivered 140 extension lectures on various topics outside his department. So with these words, I would like to welcome Professor Geer to the stage.
Professor Khar sir, Professor Milind Umerkar sir, other distinguished guests, faculty members, a very good evening to all of you. Well, we are at the fag end of this very enriching and enlightening conference today. And my session is the last one, so I will not take much time. Already I have been told to finish within 10 or 15 minutes. So something to cherish about. But overall, I must say that today's discussions and deliberations have been very enlightening, very enriching, very informative and very interesting. And whether it was the fabulous start given by Professor Khar sir or carried forward by Professor Mishra sir and then by other eminent speakers and guests, almost each and every issue has been touched upon that concerns all of us as pharmacy professionals. Whole lot of gamut of issues have been discussed at length, so there is nothing much for me to discuss about. But I have been told my topic was the emerging role of pharmacy practitioners in 21st century. That's the topic which has been given to me, and I had actually prepared a brief presentation, but I won't be showing all the slides. I'll just be showing 2 or 3 slides. Because keeping the constraints of time in view, many people have to reach to far off places or some of them have to catch their flights. So I'll try to be very brief and finish my talk within 10 or 15 minutes. So this is the topic which was given to me, which was assigned to me, emerging role of pharmacy practitioners in 21st century. Well, when I completed my master's degree in pharmacy way back in 1999, at that very time, the pharmacy practice was in its infancy. Not many major hospitals, not even in urban areas, were having clinical pharmacy services. The clinical pharmacists were not very welcome in any of the major hospitals, whether government or private sector. And we were not able to deliver our duties very well. But the scenario has changed a lot since then. Over the last 25 years, the acceptance of pharmacists has considerably increased. Today, we find that we are in a position to deliver good number of services, whether it is the adverse drug reaction monitoring or drug therapeutic monitoring, or being a part of the drugs and therapeutics committee in procurement, or in getting involved in patient counseling. So the things have considerably improved over the last 20-25 years, but still there is a long way to go. There is a lot more to achieve. And still we are struggling to have that recognition, have that stature, have that kind of status in the society which we are aspiring for. As we see in the developed countries, the pharmacists are in a position to write prescriptions, to be the consulting pharmacists. But here in India, we have not achieved that level as yet. So we have a long way to go. And at the same time, there is a lot of transformation going on. The times are changing very quickly. We are, as was mentioned by Professor Khar sir, he elaborated upon the various types of industrial revolutions, and we have already entered into the 4th industrial revolution, and the world is at the cusp of 5th industrial revolution, wherein, as mentioned by Professor Khar sir, there is going to be interface between physical cognitive, interface between physical and cyber systems. That means the interface between humans and robots. So I think this is the right time when we should think about preparing our youth, preparing our students for such digital transformation. In future, the smart hospitals are going to be the future. And in fact, these hospitals will be converted into wellness centers where only preventive measures will be taught, how to prevent disease. And only maybe the intensive care services or surgical services will be offered to the patients. The rest of the services will be given online. and the telepharmacy, telemedicine is going to take all of us, in a stride. So we need to teach our students what this telepharmacy is, what this bioelectric pharmacy is, how telemedicine is going to work. Already COVID-19 has shown us the way, like being at home, how we can reach out to the patients and how we can address their issues and concerns related to health. Now we need to go forward and see, because the world market is changing drastically. By 2025, it is estimated that this world digital global market is going to be 500 billion US dollars. And out of these, 170 US billion dollars alone are going to be for artificial intelligence. So we need to build our capacities, skills, and competencies and align with these changing circumstances, keep pace with the global trends and times, so that our students do not lag behind, so that our profession does not lag behind, and we keep marching ahead. So our pharmacists have to basically contribute their bit towards a well-functioning health system, where the medicines will be safe, effective, affordable, accessible, and available to all strata of the society, irrespective of their caste, creed, color, religion, or even the paying status. So how our pharmacists, how our budding youth can contribute in that direction needs to be thought about. Well, in that direction, again, it was earlier explained by Professor Kharsar that the International Pharmaceutical Federation classifies pharmacists into three categories. One is those who are involved in education, the pharmaceutical educationists or teachers, those who are involved in research, that is the scientists, and those who are involved in practice. And for all of them, the International Pharmaceutical Federation earlier in 2016 came up with 8 development goals. So we need to teach our students, our next generation, what these development goals are all about. These development goals are nothing but the competencies, skills, and capacities which we have to build among our students, so that they can, they can meet the challenges of the global job industry, they can meet the challenges of the digital transformation, and they can meet the challenges of the contemporary world. And after this 2016, in 2020, 13 more development goals were added, and today we have 21 development goals. So we need to teach our students what these goals are all about. But so far as the roles and responsibilities of a pharmacy practitioner are concerned, they are very much known to you, that they have to contribute in drug utilization studies, adverse drug reaction monitoring, therapeutic drug monitoring, drug information services, poison information services, patient counseling services, then drug policy development, hospital formulary development, drugs and therapeutics committee activities, and evaluation of prescribing practices. These are all the roles and responsibilities of a clinical pharmacist. But the question is how it is evolving. What are the changes that have happened over the past several years, and what changes we are going to witness in the future? Now, this role has been evolving, or the original focus was on medicine supply. We used to consider pharmacists as a compounder, as a supplier of medicines. That has changed now, and now it has moved towards more inclusive focus on patient care. And similarly, the role has evolved from that of a compounder and supplier to that of a pharmaceutical care practitioner who can provide pharmaceutical care to prevent, detect, monitor, and resolve adverse drug reaction problems, to decrease the burden of 5 Ds, death, disease, disability, and discomfort, to decrease the burden of these 5 Ds, and to emerge as a 7-star pharmacist, as envisaged by the International Pharmaceutical Federation, who has the capacity to be a caregiver, communicator, decision maker, teacher, lifelong learner, leader, and manager. And lastly, the focus of a pharmacist is moving from the product to a patient, from the bench side to the bedside. So this has been the transformation which has been witnessed over the past few years. But in future, we are going to witness a lot more changes in the healthcare scenario, and a lot more transformation is yet to take place. So these are the areas where we need to focus upon. I will not go beyond these slides. I will just try to focus on this slide. We need to focus on, earlier we had the presentation by Dr. V. Kalai Selvan, wherein he discussed about pharmacovigilance. But then there is materiovigilance, there is cosmeticovigilance, there is nutraceutical vigilance, there is hemovigilance. So we need to do the safety monitoring of all these products, whether they are the blood products, nutraceuticals, pharmaceuticals, or cosmeticals. And similarly, there is now focus on personalized and precision medicine. We need to give individualized treatment. We need to minimize the hazards and maximize the therapeutic outcomes of our medicines through this personalized and precision medicine. So our curriculum has to focus on this. Our training has to focus on personalized and precision medicine. Then we need to focus on telepharmacy and bioelectric medicine, because it has been observed worldwide that 60% of patients feel that it is better to have this healthcare from home rather than going in person to the hospital and meeting a doctor. So the world is shifting to a time will come when the doctor will be the last person to be consulted by the patient. He will get all the data on his smartphone or on the digital device. He will be able to do an ultrasound himself, conduct all the blood tests at the point of care by himself. Then only he will consult a pharmacist or a doctor for further action. So we need to teach our students all these things. And then the role of pharmacogenomics, pharmacometabonomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, exosmics. We need to teach our students. This has to be a part of curriculum, because the world is shifting towards gene therapy, cell therapy. The world is shifting towards CRISPR technology, wherein gene editing has become possible, and it is now possible to change the genes and prevent the disease. So our students must know these techniques of omics-based technologies, and they must have a fair idea of all these technologies. Then informatics, bioinformatics, chem informatics, and pharmacometrics, how you can gauge the hazards of some particular medication well in advance, and by just interpolating the data which you already have. And then we need to teach them data mining, big data analytics, as mentioned by Khar sir. And we need to teach them the nano diagnostics, nanomedicine. We need to teach them 3D printing technology and robotics. We need to teach them about integrative pharmacy. There is a lot of talk about integrative holistic pharmacy. What is that? That is the area wherein we take into account all other aspects. We are laying equal emphasis on nutrition. We are laying equal emphasis on physical exercise, on stress management, on sunlight, and on all other aspects, so that holistic healthcare is promoted and holistic pharmacy is promoted. Only medicine should not be the remedy, but all other things, whether it is the exercise or nutrition or stress management, should also be a part and parcel of the healthcare. And lastly, we need to teach our students about translational and regenerative medicine, how to make our research translational, translate it into benefits to the humans, to the practice, to the patients, or some kind of benefits to the society, whether it is socio-economic or any other kind of benefit. That is what is known as valorization of research. We need to switch over to valorization of research, translational research, and we need to have a fair idea of the regenerative medicine. So I will not go beyond this. Otherwise, I had made some slides on detailing on all these aspects, but I will not go beyond this due to the constraints of time. But only a couple of days earlier, I was delivering an online talk on this, how to incorporate new education policy in pharmacy, and what are the challenges, what are the prospects. The talk organized by the ISF College Moga. And I have a temptation to reply to a couple of questions which were raised by Professor Khar sir and the madam, who were asking, like, how exactly can you enforce the provisions of flexibility, and how exactly can you enforce the provision of credit transfer in private sector, which is a big concern. Because private, as we all know, that private colleges run on the amount of money which they charge from the students. So rightly said by Khar sir, if a student leaves the college, what will be the fate of the financial this revenue generation of the college? And if there is credit transfer, how it will be possible from one college to another in a private sector? So I have discussed all these issues in that very talk. It was a 1-hour talk. So I would briefly reply to this, give my comment on this, that there is provision of flexibility in the new education policy, both horizontal flexibility and vertical mobility. That is, a student can change his major and minor after 3rd semester. He can change the optional subject or minors and majors. and he can also change his college. But that will become possible by constituting and establishing a cluster of colleges, whether it is a cluster of government colleges, or it is a cluster of private colleges, or it is a cluster of mixed cluster of government and private colleges. They need to have proper agreements in place. They need to have proper MOUs in place, how they will go for revenue sharing, how they will go for finance sharing. And then the flexibility will be, when there is a proper this guideline, after 1 year, if the student exits, he will get a certificate. So what will be the fee we have to charge? That has to be fixed well in advance. After 2 years, if the student leaves, he will get a diploma. So what is the fee we have to charge after 2 years? So that even if a student leaves after 2 years, the college doesn't have to worry about the finances. Similarly, after 3 years, if there is an exit after 3 years, either there will be an advanced diploma or there will be a degree. Under NEP, there is a provision for UG degree after 3 years. But we can go ahead for 4-year degree also with 1 full year internship. That internship could either be in a hospital, 1-year internship, or it could be in an industry. So we need to work out the modalities for all this. Everything has to be prefixed. And the role of Pharmacy Council of India here is that they have to bring out the new education regulations. They have to incorporate all these provisions of the new education policy in the new education regulations only when it is possible, because as of today, the previous education regulations of 2014, we have multidisciplinary basket of courses in the 8th semester. Out of those 8, these courses, a student has to choose any 2 courses. Maybe now we have to incorporate more optional subjects, more optional papers in every alternate semester. Maybe 2 or 3 optional courses of multidisciplinary nature in second or every alternate semester, so that students get more chance to study all these things about the sociology, humanities, commerce, economics, management, and other aspects. So that is the way to incorporate multidisciplinary education, having more and more optional papers in alternate semesters, which can be chosen by the students. And for credit transfer, the clusters, MOUs, and agreements have to be placed in place. And for making it major, minor, and other changes in curriculum, the Pharmacy Council of India has to bring out proper educational regulations, which will be enforced in line with the national education policy. So with these words, I conclude my presentation. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak at this occasion and be with all the veterans in our profession, interact with them, exchange views with them. And my heartiest congratulations to Shri Amit Jaji and all his members of Pharma Lok team, who I term as valiant soldiers of Pharma Lok, because the year before last year, they took a Pharma Lok Yatra, which we concluded in our university, in the Srinagar, Kashmir University. And I know that how they traveled all across the hills by road and reached out to Kashmir University, and they were so enthusiastic and excited about it, and they had taken it as a mission of their life. So a big round of applause for Pharma Lok team. Many thanks to all of you once again. Thanks, Pharma Lok team.